Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I posted a video. Today I wanted to do a review of my Chanel reissue in the 226 size, and this is just how I store it in the dust bag. I'll go into kind of like how I acquired this bag, what I think about the design, pros and cons, what fits. I will briefly show you my Chanel Classic flap as well, just so you can see the comparison in size, and I think that should do it. So without further ado, let's go. It came with the dust bag. I did buy this bag off of Fashionphile earlier this year, and it was my birthday gift to myself, and I have zero regrets. I love this bag so much, and I will tell you why in a little bit, but I do keep it in the dust bag that it came with, and I feel really lucky that I managed to snag this particular one because whoever the previous owner was took really good care of this bag. It was listed in excellent condition, and the only remark about the condition was the fact that the base is a little bit bowed. So you can see right here and right here. And this didn't bother me at all because if you know anything about the reissue, you know the history about it is the fact that it is it can lay flat. I won't do it now because it's stuffed, but it can lay all the way flat, and that's kind of how it was found. And you will see, if you look for this bag pre-loved, you will see kind of this base in varying degrees. I've definitely seen bags where it looks way flatter, and you can kind of push mine a little bit, but doesn't really stay that way. So I've seen bags pre-loved where it's very flat like this, and I've seen bags that were like way more rounded and way more bowed than this one. So I feel like this one is kind of in the middle, and I am totally okay with that. And everything else about this bag was just in immaculate condition. There were no flaws or anything. Another thing I really appreciated about buying this bag on Fashionphile was whoever the previous owner was, they put everything in. They had the box, they had the authenticity card, they had the dust bag, and they even had, this is so cute, it's a little bit wrinkled, I think from like transit, but they even wrapped up the camellia and the ribbon. I have never bought a used bag, where, at least from Fashionphile, where they had this as well, and I was like, oh, that's so sweet. So that was just like an extra nice little touch. And here is the authenticity card. It is a 16 series, so I think that was probably 2012 maybe, I'm not quite sure, but probably around there. And they also tucked in the price tag, which, so you can see in 2012-ish, I'm not quite sure if that's the year, but in that time, this bag only cost $4,900, which is crazy to think about the price increases that Chanel has had since then. So that's like, what, 6-7 years ago? That's crazy. So that is that, and I keep that on the top part of the dust bag. But to go into this bag really quickly, so this is the 226 size. The reissue comes in 4 sizes. There's a mini, which is also known as a 224. There's a 225, which is comparable to the small. This is the medium 226 and the large 227. However, these sizes don't correspond exactly with the Chanel Classic flaps. So this bag, the 226 size, is actually in between the small and the medium Classic flap and the jumbo Classic flap. The 225, I think, is right in between the small and the medium. So this is between the 226. Again, just going to say this is between the medium and the jumbo. For me, this is a perfect Goldilocks size. I actually don't have a jumbo. I haven't tried one on yet. I would consider getting one in the future, maybe if I really liked it. But just having used this bag for about 5 months now, I love it so much. It fits exactly as much as I would need for a day out. And also really love the fact that this bag can transition really well into the evening and for dinner. So let me just show you. This is how I store it with the chains like tucked inside. And I have, this bag is like kind of squishy, so I want to make sure to preserve the structure. So I do stuff it with air paper. And then also, there's some structure issues like right with the front pocket. So the way I store it is I just keep some, it's not cardboard, but they're a little bit thicker than regular paper. They're basically like postcards. I just have some like little cards in here that are kind of postcard size that I just kind of tuck right there to kind of preserve the structure of the front pocket. So that's how I store it. And then let me take the chain out. So let me go really quickly into the pros about this bag. One, I really like how lightweight it is. The material is aged calfskin, and it's very light. The chains are very light. You would think that for chains like this, like they'd be quite substantial, but but for me, I think they're very comfortable to wear. You know, I have worn this bag for like 8 hours stuffed, and sure, yeah, by the end of the day, it does get a little bit heavy, but for the most part, this bag is like very, very comfortable to wear, and I do really like that about this bag. So I also really like the understated style of this. It doesn't scream Chanel. It does say Chanel up here on the hardware, like at the very bottom, but other than that, if you didn't know that this was a Chanel bag, if you didn't know what the reissue is, you might not know that it's a designer bag, and that's one thing I really like about this bag a lot. It's just a little bit more understated, you know, that's not for everybody, obviously. So like some people really love designer bags that have the logo and everything. I think there's a time and a place for that, but for this bag, I really appreciate that it does have a little bit more of an understated style. I also really like, in addition with how lightweight this bag is so soft and pliable. It's like kind of squishy. So now that it's empty, you can kind of see just like how it does it is kind of intended to go flat like this. And yeah, I just love how pliable this bag is. It's very soft. It feels very luxurious to the touch. And yeah, I think those are probably the main pros. To go into the cons, one of the cons is actually when I first saw this bag, I didn't like it at all. I didn't hate it, but I was just very indifferent. I didn't think it was, I never thought that I would ever own this bag when I first saw it. I just didn't really think it was for me at all. This style is certainly not for everybody, and I can totally understand why. But that being said, somehow I went from like one end of the spectrum to like not really caring about this bag at all to the way other side of the spectrum where I had to have this bag. And now that I've had it and owned it, well, I did buy it in January, but it was an early birthday gift, and I didn't start using it till after my birthday. So I've been using it for about 5 months. I love this bag so, so much, and I am really, really happy that I got it. Another con, I did mention this earlier because it is so soft and pliable. I think it is prone to a little bit of structure loss. I have seen some used reissues on various websites where the structure is definitely like, I don't really know how to describe it, but it doesn't look as good, I guess. Like there are kind of like sections of the bag where it just looks like it's been squished down or hasn't been treated very well. I think predominantly you can probably tell like at some point this section might start to do that. But yeah, so that is definitely something in terms of future wear and tear that could happen to this bag. The other thing is, I'm a sucker for gold hardware. I almost always go for gold hardware. Why is that so hard to say? In terms of handbags, whenever possible, and the reissue for me was no exception. That being said, one possible con about this bag is that this hasn't happened yet that I can see, but I have seen some reissues, used reissues online where the hardware is starting to chip or the gold is starting to fade away, and you can kind of see the silver popping up from the bottom. You know, because I did sort of know that going into purchasing this bag, and I do expect that it will happen inevitably at some point in the life of this bag, but hopefully it doesn't happen anytime soon. I would say if that is a major concern to you and that's something that you know is going to bother you, go for the ruthenium style, because you won't have that problem if you have the ruthenium hardware, because it already has that aged brushed look to it, and it's like silver, so I don't think you'll have that problem. At least for me personally, like when I've seen the used reissues online, I haven't seen any ruthenium ones that sort of had that same issue, so there's that. In terms of design, this is pretty much exactly like most of the Chanel classic flaps. There is the Mona Lisa pocket in the back right here. There is a turn lock. Of course, the CCs are different. Like on the classic flap, it has like the CC lock, and this is just a turn lock. Right here is the double flap. It does look a bit pointier right now, and I think that's because there's nothing in it. I've noticed that when I do have this bag pretty full, it does tend to kind of like fill out a little bit, and so it's just not as pointy on the top. It does have the zipper pocket up here, which I don't really use, and it does have this other pocket back here, which is nice. The front pocket here, two inner pockets, the lipstick holder, and just the main compartment. So you can see it's very, very similar to all the other classic flaps. So yeah, let me also just show you like what fits really quickly. Before I do that, I will say another pro about this bag is the versatility of it. I really like, because there are 4 grommets at the top, this bag is really easy to change up how you wear it. So you can wear it long ways like this, just on the shoulder, And this way is really cute because you can see that the chain is kind of on the front, and I think it just adds a little something. But if that's not your style, you can totally do it the other way, where you're going like this and wearing it on the shoulder like that. This is also a really great crossbody bag. It fits very comfortably for me crossbody, which the medium classic flap does not do. And then my most preferred way to wear this bag actually is just on the shoulder like this. I think it looks so great. It's very comfortable, and this is just kind of the way that I prefer to wear it. So show you what fits really quickly. Another reason why I really like this bag a lot is because I don't need to downsize my wallet. This is my wallet. It totally fits with no problem. With the classic flap, I would definitely downsize. And yeah, it's just, I mean, if you want to carry more, then I've definitely downsized to a card holder and just carried more things, and that's totally fine. Or if I just for some reason didn't want to carry my full wallet. But usually if I'm out for the day, I do want to carry this, and this is, it's nice to have the full wallet with me. So I just kind of, it can fit like this, like at the bottom, and it disappears completely, but the way that I usually carry it is just like off to the side right here. Oh my gosh, I didn't tell you guys. So I did get a mini pochette. If you have been watching my channel for a while, you've probably known that I don't have one of these, and I just got this last month. I didn't do a video on it, honestly, because it's such a small SLG and everyone has one. I know there's like a bajillion videos on this, and so I guess I didn't really feel like I had anything to add, but I will say, just quick story time. Sorry for the detour. The story about this bag, or this SLG, I should say, is as most people know, it's very hard to find in stores. Louis Vuitton stores are almost always sold out of it. And I decided I didn't want to go the pre-loved market with this because they tend to go for just as much, if not more, than retail price. And I just didn't want to pay. Like one of the draws for me personally in buying pre-loved is the fact that I'm getting a little bit of a deal. And so for such a sought-after piece, I just didn't think it was worth it for me personally to buy it either from someone else on Facebook or through Fashionphile, where I'm paying almost as much as it would cost in the boutiques. But I had a friend who was in Hawaii over the summer, and she checked in store for me. And if you don't know, pro tip about shopping in Hawaii, prices are cheaper in Hawaii. The retail prices are cheaper, and the tax is cheaper too. Tax is half of what it is in California. I think it's 4.4% in Hawaii, and it's like 8-point-something% in California. So yeah, definitely saved money on buying this brand new from the store. Just had my friend pick it up for me, and then I just paid her back, and she delivered it. And I love having this bag, or this SLG. I keep saying bag, maybe because it just reminds me of a mini bag. For me, I have a bunch of other catch-all pouches, but they're a lot bigger, and it was just so nice to have a smaller one of this size that I could use in smaller bags like this, or even my classic flap. So yeah, definitely really love having this. It's pretty full right now. It's just, I'm not going to go through everything, but just show you like what's inside. There's like perfume and Advil and hand sanitizer and floss and a mirror and all that. So this is pretty handy. Glad to have this in my collection now. I know everyone has it, but I can definitely see why. It's a really useful SLG to have. So this fits perfectly in as well, as you can see. It fits also my extra phone charger, which I definitely need if I'm going to be out all day. So I'm just going to tuck that into the side and tuck the little cord in. Here is my transit card. I'm just going to put that in one of the back pockets right here. And then lipstick. I don't ever really use the lipstick holder. I just feel like it's kind of an odd size, and this is also a little bit chunky for a lipstick, and it's a square size, so I'm not actually going to put that in a lipstick holder that comes in the purse. I'm just going to stick it off to the side. And then another reason why I really love this bag is because it fits my Kindle, which is amazing if I'm going to be on the train or if I'm going to be sitting anywhere for a long time. I love to have my Kindle just to kind of read while I'm waiting, and it fits perfectly in the back like so. And it definitely, it is pretty full. I would say if you needed to, you can probably fit sunglasses in a soft case at the top, but that's probably the max. And obviously if you wanted to fit more, just carry a smaller wallet or a card holder, and then you'd have more room to play. So here is the bag, fully stuffed. You can see that it's definitely not as pointy anymore on the sides. And I think that's just because the bag is definitely expanded. So when the bag is like flat or there isn't much in here, it's gonna look a little bit pointier, but it'll also lay flat, closer to your body because it won't be as full. So just something to keep in mind. And then let me just show you really quickly, just to do a quick, I'm not gonna do an in-depth comparison, but I'll just do a size comparison real quick. This is my medium classic flap. in Caviar. And so you can see that they don't really look that much different in terms of size, but you can tell this one is a little bit bigger. That being said, the fact that this doesn't look that much bigger, I still feel like it can carry so much more. And probably because it is like wider as well. That's probably where the extra room comes in. But it's just really nice to have this size. For me, the 226 is definitely the Goldilocks size. But I love my classic flap. Like I would never give it up. But just so you can tell the comparison really quickly. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about the reissue. I do love it. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to answer. But yeah, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would consider subscribing to my channel, I'd really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye.